Oh man, what a Nintendo Direct. So I'm just gonna jump in. Yesterday I couldn't make a video because, well, I had to go to work. And like wildfire, I saw so many people posting their reactions to yesterday's Nintendo Direct from February 17th. I almost forgot the date there. February 17th. So can't do a reaction video because I already watched it. So I'm just gonna give my thoughts and everything, and we'll just go from there. So they start things off very interestingly with a trailer. It shows a very familiar looking world, which is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and you think to yourself, is it going to be some more DLC for it? We already got the Torna of the Old Country, maybe we're getting some more, but psych, it's not. It's not DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It is indeed Pyra and Mythra from the game are coming to Smash Brothers. They showed some gameplay footage. They showed some combos. It looks very, very, very nice, very sweet, very satisfying, and I can't wait to pick them up and play them. I'm going to get seriously back into Smash starting today. We'll probably start playing at some Fox, but that's beside the point. The fact is, trailer looked awesome. Glad they're in Smash. Rex, I thought he would make the cut, but maybe later. Who knows? So moving forward, then we had some trailers for two games that I'm kind of familiar with. It's the Famicom Detective Club games. I only know these games because I remember the old trophy from Super Smash Bros. Melee, and I thought the character trophy looked really, really cool back then in my little 12-year-old brain. I was like, holy crap, I wish I could play that game. And I also wish I could play that Fire Emblem game. They'll never bring that over here. But anyway, after that, we had a trailer for Samurai Warriors 5, which looked pretty awesome. I'm glad that they're showing some more Samurai / Dynasty Warriors love on the Switch. Tecmo Koei, they've been very, very buddy-buddy with Nintendo lately with the Warrior games, such as like Age of Calamity and the Fire Emblem Warrior games and Hyrule Warrior games. They've been very buddy-buddy with Nintendo, and that'll actually come into later with a game that I thought might happen, but it actually turned out to actually happen, and we'll circle back with that once we do talk about that game later in this video. So next, they talked about Legend of Mana. Oh my god. Legend of Mana is freaking back. It's back on Nintendo Switch. I can't believe this. Like, this game is so... It's actually a rare game on PlayStation now. It's really hard to find Legend of Mana. So now the prices for that game will start to drop on eBay. But if you don't know what Legend of Mana is, it was the game in between Trials of Mana that came out in '95 and Sword of Mana that came out on Game Boy Advance. It was sort of that in-between game. It was like a big budgeted new Mana game that came out on PlayStation, I believe back in 1998 or 1999, correct me if I'm wrong, but the graphics look awesome. I'm definitely getting it. There's no way I'm not getting this game. It just looks so beautiful. The music sounds awesome. It has that distinct Mana look with the characters with like the big hair and the big eyes and the giant swords. It just looks awesome. I can't wait to play Legend of Mana. And yeah, when it comes out, I'm definitely going to get it. I'll probably do a review for it. Next up, we got some video of Monster Hunter Rise with also a release date of March 26th. Can't wait for that. And like I said in my other video, I knew they were going to show some video or some new gameplay or a trailer before that game dropped, because it's coming really, really soon. Like I said, March 26th. Can't wait for Monster Hunter Rise. It looks amazing. It looks very unique. And not even to say like it doesn't look as good as Monster Hunter Worlds, because they're two different games. Well, not really two different games, but they're running on two different engines. And the Switch has an advantage where it could show graphics and put them in unique art styles instead of just throwing more graphics at it. Art style is very, very important when it comes to the Switch, because it forces creators to have to get creative. And so they have to work within the bounds of the Switch to make the game look as great as it does. And it looks really good. I can't wait till Monster Hunter Rise comes out on March 26th. New trailer came out for Mario Golf Super Rush with also a release date of June 25th. And this looked awesome because pretty much it's Mario Golf like they did for Game Boy Color, where it has an RPG mechanic where you can make a character and you level them up. You challenge everybody from the Mushroom Kingdom, from Mario, Yoshi, Toad, Peach, Bowser, what have you. You level them up, you go from course to course, you get stronger, you get better stats, like better swinging, better power shots, all that kind of stuff. And I always thought the Game Boy Color game was very, very good. I liked the Nintendo 64 game, but I remember when the Game Boy Color game came out back in the day, I always thought that concept was better. It was a cooler concept. Instead of just playing golf and unlocking characters, you actually went on an adventure. And I'm glad they revitalized that concept for this game. So I can't wait for that game to drop when it comes out eventually on June 25th. Next game I've been clamoring and I've been waiting to see was No More Heroes 3 with a release date of August 27th. That is such a long time from now. Oh man, that's the end of the year. That's the end of the year. That's like near Christmas territory. I mean, not really, but it's right before fall. And yeah, we're gonna be waiting a minute before that game comes out. That's okay. It's all right though. It looked amazing. And Travis is rocking a new glove. He's got a death glove. It looks like a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con controller on his fist. It's like the red and blue one. And yeah, it looks awesome as I thought it would. You got the jobs are back. You got some new jobs. You got one that looks like Fatal Frame. You got one that looks like an RPG. Looks like Final Fantasy VII. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, this game, they get crazier and crazier with these No More Hero games, and I'm all for it. I don't care. I love Travis Touchdown as a hero. He's a pervert. He's an otaku. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Next up, we got Project Triangle Strategy, which looks like Final Fantasy Tactics, and it showed off some gameplay. You can combine moves, and there's a choice system where what you do in one part of the game could either benefit you later, or it could come back and bite you in the butt. So very interesting mechanic, and it's pretty much Final Fantasy Tactics. It's like a new Final Fantasy Tactics, but more than that, it's a successor to Octopath Traveler. So Octopath Traveler has its main game, Octopath Traveler, and then it's got Triangle Strategy, which is like its Final Fantasy Tactics series. So looking forward to that. The graphics look amazing. Music sounded great. The character model, he looked kind of like the guy from Final Fantasy 15 with the short hair and like with the bomber jacket. I'm not sure if it's a bomber jacket. I'm not sure they had bomber jackets back in the olden times with dragons and stuff like that, but he looked like the character from Final Fantasy 15. So I guess Square is on a short brown-haired protagonist kick right now with their games, and I'm all for it. It looks awesome. I can't wait till it comes out. Yeah, I mean, I got the first one. I got Octopath Traveler sitting on my shelf, so it looks awesome. Hopefully, Dunkey won't make a giant video about making fun of the game, although he probably will because he doesn't have any taste. Next game that I saw that looked pretty interesting was Knockout City. It looked like Super Dodgeball, like the old Super Dodgeball game that came out back on Nintendo and arcade. It looked kind of like that. It looked awesome. I liked the way it looked. It looked fun. You can run around, you can pass the ball to your teammates, to set them up for some, spikes, all that kind of stuff. It looked like a giant world. You just run around like it looks like Fortnite mixed with Splatoon, mixed with Dodgeball. That looks fun, and that will sure as hell make for some good videos, and that will make for some good local co-op and multiplayer co-op and multiplayer, versus all that kind of stuff. It looked fun. Like, it looked like a giant party. Can't wait for that game. I believe it's published by EA, and I forget the other team that actually made it. It's in the trailer, but you'll see it when I pull the trailer up. But yeah, it looked pretty fun, looked awesome. I'm looking forward to that. It looked like something that I could play on some downtime. Next up, we got Ninja Gaiden Master Collection coming out June 10th, which is kind of funny because in the story, Ryu Hayabusa's birthday is June 15th, so it comes out 5 days before his birthday, which is pretty cool. I wish they would have released it on June 15th so it could coincide with his in-story birthday, but that's beside the point. So what you get is Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1, which came out on PS3, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, which came out on the PS3 as well, and Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. Love Sigma 1, love Sigma 2, Razor's Edge, I have it for the Wii U. I have it somewhere back there on my shelf. I got it on the Wii U. I liked it, but I did not like it as much as the first two. Yeah, I like 3. It's not a bad game. It's just that it was not as well polished as 1 and 2. As you know, the creator, I believe is, I forget his first name, Itagaki, he left by that point. So they were scrambling around trying to, make Ninja Gaiden feel like Ninja Gaiden without his guidance. And you can really, really feel it in the third game. So I'll get the collection, definitely getting that collection, but mainly just for 1 and 2, so it can be upscaled to, I believe it's gonna be 1080p instead of 720 as it was on PS3. So definitely gonna be getting that. Love Ninja Gaiden, and that's what I meant about with Tecmo Koei. I knew that something of Ninja Gaiden was going to happen because they've been really chummy with them, and it'd be a perfect fit. I thought that maybe Ryu would come to Smash Brothers. Still got my fingers crossed for that. I hope that he does come to Smash Bros. Eventually. But I will take this. But I knew something Ninja Gaiden was going to come up with them getting really chummy with them, making all these games for the Switch. And we finally got it. We got a Ninja Gaiden game. Next up, we have Age of Calamity Expansion Pass was announced for May 28th, June 2021, and November 2021 with new armor, rosters, and weapons in each pack. So it looks awesome. I mean, that game is fun anyway, and I'll take any excuse to keep playing it. Just give me more stuff for that game. That game is so fun. If you haven't gotten it, go get that game. It's fun. It's not. I mean, no disrespect to the Warriors games, but it's a bit deeper than just the Warriors game because it expands the mythos of Breath of the Wild, and it has stuff in it that sets up for Breath of the Wild too. So it's kind of like Chain of Memories. How Chain of Memories bridged Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 together. That's how important it is. So if you haven't gotten that game, it's really fun. You kick a lot of butt in that game. Beat up a bunch of moblins and stuff like that. Switch between characters. It's really, really fun. Next game was Bravely Default 2 with a release date of February 26th. Game is right around the corner. The game is like literally next week. And it looked awesome. Can't wait to get it. The Switch is becoming like the RPG machine. Like if you want some good JRPGs, get a Nintendo Switch. Get a Nintendo Switch. You got so many games. I can't even think of all the games that are JRPGs. You got Bravely Default 2 coming out. You have Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. You got Dragon Quest 11 Definitive Edition. I know it's on everything now, but for a little bit it was exclusive. You got Octopath Traveler. You got Trials of Mana. You got the Mana Collection. I Am Setsuna. You got all these RPGs on the Switch. Like, I can't believe that Nintendo is like the RPG system again, like back on Super Nintendo. It's crazy. It's crazy times we live in these days. So that game looks awesome. I can't wait for Bravely Default 2. New trailer just dropped. Awesome. Next game that they announced, well, not announced, the game's already been announced, but the game that showed off was Saga Remastered. Oh, Saga Frontier Remastered, with a date of April 15th. Can't wait for this game. If you don't know what Saga is it's like Square's second RPG that used to rival Final Fantasy way back in the 90s, like 1992, 93, 97-ish. They stopped for a while. I think the last Saga game I can remember was like on PS2. And had like these really ugly looking characters that they look like haunted children masks. They look scary as hell. So that was the last one that came out. I believe it was like 2003, 2002, something like that. I can't remember when. But it's back. They remastered the first game, and the character. I love the art. The art looks so old. It looks like old classic Square from like 1992 when they had the old Square logo and things like that. I can't wait for this game. The music sounds amazing. I can't wait. If you don't know, I love video game music. I love a good soundtrack for a game, especially with an RPG. You gotta have good music in an RPG, because a lot of times that's what makes you keep going when, like, the repetitiveness of an RPG starts to set in. The music will keep you going because it'll and capture the feeling of any scene that's going on. So I can't wait for this to come out, for Saga Frontier to come out. I'm gonna play the hell out of that game. Next one was a big one. It was a big giant drop. It was Skyward Sword with a release date of July 16th. And they went into detail about the history of the game and how it was the last Zelda game to come out on a Nintendo console that followed the conventions of the old games. Pretty much all the games that from Ocarina of Time and up, like Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Majora's Mask. That was the last one of that kind. And they went into detail about how they're going to have a button-only option, so that way you can play it also on the Switch Lite and on the go, which is amazing, which is awesome, which is fantastic. Great. I'm going to play it on my TV though, because I can't play that game any other way. except for swinging a controller. I love the first time I played it on the Wii with my gold Wiimote. I'm gonna play it again in 1080p. I can't wait. They also showed off a new Skyward Sword control bundle. It was just two Joy-Cons representing the sword and shield. One's blue, one's light blue. You know those things are gonna sell out, so I'm gonna try to get one. I also liked how that Switch looked. I don't need a new Switch, so I'm not, of course, not gonna buy the new Switch. But I will get that new Pro controller and those new Joy-Cons eventually because they looked amazing. And I love Skyward Sword. Great game. They talked about how that this game introduced some new concepts into Zelda Breath of the Wild, such as the stamina gauge, crafting new materials, and I forget what the third one was that incorporated into Breath of the Wild, but pretty much they were saying how Skyward Sword was the game that brought all these new ideas to Skyward Sword before before Breath of the Wild was a thing. So you can thank Skyward Sword for things like the stamina system, crafting, and the Sailcloth. That was it. The Sailcloth, which eventually evolved into Link's glider. That's where all these ideas came from Skyward Sword. It set up a lot of stuff, and one thing I wish they would have done was keep that concept of like upgrading your sword, because they kind of went backward with Breath of the Wild, where you could break your weapon. Where on Skyward Sword, your weapons don't break. Well, they can break if well, I think your shield can break. I think it's the only thing that can break. But your weapons, you can level them up by collecting materials. I wish they would have went that direction, and hopefully they'll go that direction with Breath of the Wild 2, but we'll see. Anyway, it comes out really, really soon. Yeah, so when it does come out, I'm definitely going to be playing that game, and I can't wait for it to come out. Last game that they showed off was a behemoth of a game. They showed some footage. They showed a very familiar looking kid, and who was that? It's those rambunctious, rascally inkling children. Those kids, those cute little inkling kids. And what was it? Was it Splatoon 2 DLC? Is Splatoon 1 being remastered for the Switch? No, you fool. It's Splatoon 3. It's Splatoon 3. And yeah, for the longest time, we didn't know we were going to get Splatoon 3 because they kept saying how that he wasn't working, the creator wasn't working on one for a while, but heck, we're getting one. We're getting Splatoon 3, and they show some gameplay. They show some background. It looked really awesome. Like, had like this giant structure in the background. I don't know what they're doing with that. Like, can you walk around? Is it going to be like open world? In addition to doing multiplayer, I don't know. We don't. They haven't really shown anything, but they did show some verses. They had the Splatoon theme kicking. I know that my girlfriend's daughter, she absolutely loves Splatoon, so I know she's like happy as like, I don't know, she's happy as I don't know what, so she's going to be playing the heck out of that game. I know that. So I can't wait for Splatoon 3 to hit when it does. I need to get Splatoon 1 and 2. Like, I really do need to get Splatoon 1 and 2. Like, I have not gotten it, but that's because they never come down in price. But anyway, those are my thoughts about the Nintendo Direct from yesterday. A lot of good announcements, a lot of great announcements. So, in conclusion, I would like to say that Direct was really, really good. There's been a lot of people who've been, from what I've seen, complaining, say like, oh, that's all they have. They had all this time to prepare for Direct. And this is their first Direct in over a year since COVID struck. And Nintendo, they nailed it. Now, I am a little upset about Metroid Prime 4 and no Bayonetta 3. But, there's so much more in this year that they're going to show. We'll probably see eventually those games, probably towards the end of the year. But if I had to give this Direct a score, I mean, if you can score a conference, because it's just a conference, it's really the games that matter. So if I had to give it a score, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think they did a good job considering the fact that this is their first real Nintendo Direct back since COVID struck. And yeah, they brought it. Like they brought a little bit of sunshine and, for these dark days that we're in right now as far as like, COVID and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they knocked it out of the park. Nintendo did a fantastic job. I was satisfied with pretty much everything they showed. I'm not saying that I knew they weren't going to show Metroid Prime 4. It's just that, I don't know. It just seems like it's still like in development hell at this point. Some points I did want to bring up about Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. It did look good, but like I said, I did see some screen tearing, and I don't know. It didn't. It looked kind of rough. It did look kind of rough. And No More Heroes 3 looks like it looks great, but it does look like it could spend a few more hours in the oven because it did look a little bit scratchy as far as like the textures and stuff like that. But other than that, it looked fantastic. But this direct, I give it a 9 out of 10. I'm not sure I can incorporate this to my rating system, you know, wait for it to come out or stream it or buy it out front. If I had to, I guess I give it a buy it at full price. But yeah, that's my score for this, or a 9 out of 10, whichever you want to call it. There's been Ant Facts, dropping the facts of the Ant-Man, aka the original Smash Brother. Let me know what you guys think about all these games, trailers. Let me know in the comment section. Peace out!